And hello and welcome to week number 2, everybody, in my financial management course. This is your instructor checking in officially, Javier Black. Want to just go over some things here before I get into the week 2 content. As you notice right now, that the week 2 has officially been open on our learning management system here on D2L. I want to talk about week 1, and I want to talk about the importance and significance, class, of meeting deadlines, of doing assigned tasks within our course on the actual day that I assign them. It is imperative that we make our post and that we submit our assignments on time. As referenced in my syllabus, there is a 10% deduction or reduction off of your grade. So there are point deductions. And I want everybody to keep that in mind. And the reason why I'm going over this again is relative to week 1. I noticed that, of course, that was an introductory week last week, that there were some that did not make their introductions. And we only had one assignment. That was one assignment that was due where I actually gave the link to an article. And what you are doing is you're summarizing that article, and it's in reference to financial management and the pandemic. It was a seafood distribution company as well as a barbecue restaurant that you had to read on, and that you were going to give feedback and write me one paragraph back in return. That's just kind of giving a summary and your reflection and understanding of what the article was all about. So, of course, that's due tonight at midnight, that particular assignment. But however, though, I had mentioned that I wanted everybody to make their introductions by Friday. And I have half of the class that still have not done their introductions left. One thing I need for you all to realize is that with the online course layout, okay, and the style of it, when it comes to instruction and facilitation, we do monitor. All of your instructors do happen to monitor your activity online. And what makes the student, the indication, I should say, that the student is actually active is when you actually respond to the discussion post assignments. Now, this is what I give you guys on a weekly basis. There are assignments due every week in this course, and oftentimes you're going to have discussion question assignments. You have those every week. And of course, there are other assignments and assessments that you're going to have due without the course period. So, the importance and significance, class, is posting and submitting assignments and giving responses in a timely manner. Let's meet the due dates. For example, what I had mentioned, and let me just go ahead on and go back here to the course home. And this is what I was talking about. Right here, the news feed. That is going to be where you will find your action items. So as you begin to log in, for example, I know this is week 1, but however, though, right after I get done with this video and upload it, you will see it titled Week 2 Action Items. You are to look at the instructional video first. And then, of course, from there, once you click on the YouTube link, you go to the content, and the content that is made available for the class would be week number 2. And so, as you know, officially, week number 2 starts on January 24th. That's tomorrow. Our new weeks are going to start every single Monday, and our old weeks are going to end Sunday at midnight, going into Monday morning. So, we are here on week 2. And let me kind of get down to what we're going to be doing this week. Of course, for instructional purposes, for lecture purposes, I have included this PowerPoint, and this is based on Chapter 1. We are officially going to get into the textbook material this week, and we are going to have a discussion on Chapter 1. So, look over this PowerPoint here. And I'm not going to blow it up and put it in presentation mode because I don't want it to get out of alignment in the format of my screencast here, where I'm doing my recording of the video. But we're talking about the restaurant manager. That's what we're talking about. And this is what the Chapter 1 material is based on. So, some factors and also different types of operations, as well as different types of restaurants. and then also different types of cuisines. You will find this as well within a chapter. Like, for example, you have Italian restaurants, you have Mexican restaurants, you have pizzerias, you have Asian restaurants, restaurants that specialize in sushi, things pertaining to that manner. So this PowerPoint right here, go over it. It gives some very important terms and definitions that are centered around chapter 1. And like I had mentioned, every week you're going to have some sort of a PowerPoint that I'm going to create, and it's going to be centered around terms, definitions, theories, and principles that are relative to the chapter that we are engaging in for that current week. So look at that, and it will align with your readings in the textbook. And yes, everyone, read chapter 1. And for everybody's for the recollection of everybody, you will find your textbook right here. And I'm going to click on that again, and it's inside this Vital Source book holder. And this happens to be, of course, for the class, this is the textbook. And you click on preview, and once you do that, you have access to be able to view, to read, and study the textbook, and to go through all of the different chapters. Okay, so I just kind of want to review that again. I know that we covered that last week in our introduction video for week 1, but that, of course, everyone will have a sound understanding. Now, let's move on here because there's a few other things here that I want to touch bases on while I'm doing this video. You're going to have 3 discussion question assignments that are due this week. They are centered around the textbook. All of them are based on the textbook. Again, terms, definitions, theories, principles, applications that are centered around the restaurant business or starting up a restaurant business and facility. Okay? And of course, go to the news feed, because what I'm going to do in bullet point form, I'm going to tell everyone or show everyone what the due dates of these assignments are. This one right here, the week 2 discussion post. Okay? There's a segment within the chapter that talks about the modern restaurant industry. You'll find this in page 4. It gives 11 examples given on why people eat meals at restaurants. So what I want the class to do here is to give me 2 examples out of the 11th that applies to you. Yes, this is a reflection type of assignment. You're kind of talking about what you've actually experienced. I want you to give me a response in at least 1 paragraph based on page 4 of the text, and give me 2 out of the 11 examples of why you happen to eat meals at restaurants. So, guess what? This is going to cause and propel everybody to read and study the text in order to complete these assignments. This is going to be due right here on Wednesday night, midnight, going into Thursday. And of course, you will see this in the news feed, the due dates of each item every week. So this one will be due on Wednesday night, this Wednesday night going to Thursday. The next one is kind of a case study. Again, it's kind of based on the text message, but not the text message. I don't know why I'm thinking about cell phones and technology here, but the textbook. My apologies. This happens to be somewhat of a case study, okay? It is in page 12 of your textbook in chapter 1. It's more of a scenario. But what I want you all to do is I want you to read the brief scenario. I want you to look at it. And then I want you to answer the 2 questions after the reading of the scenario. And while you're doing that, I want you to think about, and this is in your text readings in chapter 1, different restaurant categories, okay, that are given within the text. So, what I just mentioned a little bit earlier, Mexican, pizzerias, seafood, Asian, sushi. I want you to give me at least 1 paragraph, a 1 paragraph response answering those 2 questions. That's going to be due Friday midnight, going into Saturday morning. And the next assignment, this is going to be based out of page 5. You're going to go back and you're going to look at a graph and chart that gives a breakdown of different types of commercial as well as non-commercial food service operations. Okay, so that's in page 5, the graph and the breakdown. But what I want you to do, page 19, okay, you are going to evaluate question number 2. So these are your end of the chapter questions for discussion that are in the textbook. I took one of those questions and I'm assigning question number 2 to the class. So I want you to consider your own community and I want you to think about restaurant managers that are employed within the commercial or non-commercial segments. And in your opinion, do you think those managers, okay, um, are they employed in either one of these segments? So are they employed in the commercial or would they happen to be employed in the non-commercial? So think about the different types, and you can go back on page 5 and you can look up the graph on what are the different types of commercial and non-commercial food service operations. Okay, this is going to be due on Friday midnight, going into Saturday morning. So these 2 discussion question assignments will be due then. Okay, so that's going to be assignments that are going to be due in week number 2. Now, I kind of want to cover and review your final paper. And as I had mentioned in the introduction week with the final paper, it's going to be broken up into segments. So, section 1 of your final paper, you are to have this done on February the 13th. Believe it or not, that's right around the corner. So, begin to think about, if you have not thought about it already, the development and the introduction of your paper. Read the section 1 and the instructions here that are provided. Begin to think about these things. Begin to do your research. Begin to write your rough drafts, because I am requesting that section 1 of the final paper will be due or turned in on February the 13th. So I think we're looking at maybe possibly 3 more weeks that this is due. Believe it or not, class, that is right around the corner. So begin to think, okay? Begin to put a proactive plan together regarding your research so that you could begin to write your 600 to 800 word section of your final paper and have it submitted. Okay, as always, class, my cell phone availability hours are 7 days a week from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you want to go through any material, or if you have any difficulty understanding material, I am here for that purpose. So feel free to reach out to me again. 2 to 7 p.m., 7 days a week. Those are my office hours where I am available and I can be reached by cell phone. Okay, everyone, this officially concludes the week 2 introduction. Good luck, everyone, this week. And this is your instructor, Javier Black, officially signing off. Take care. Have a great week.